I, like most people, want the physique of an anime character. And over the course of my 6-year fitness journey, I discovered 5 key habits that not only optimized my workouts, helping me achieve an anime level physique, but also allowed me to recover quicker and put on more muscle in much less time. The downside, if you're neglecting any of these habits, you might be killing your anime gains without even knowing. First things first, if you want to develop an amazing back, an enormous chest, or a strong V-taper, one of the most important things you want to get in the habit of is priming your scapula. Especially if you train bodyweight like me, you cannot be skipping this. Priming is like giving your body a small training arc before going up against the main villain. You need to make sure that your body is prepared to handle the amount of torture that you're going to put onto it. Like, you wouldn't put Midoriya up against All For One after he just got his powers. And you shouldn't jump into a workout when you've just been sitting on your ass playing Valorant all day. But how do you prime your scapula? Well, there's actually 2 ways to do it, and it all depends on your workout. The first way I like to prime my scapula is if my workout consists of a lot of pull-ups and rows. And this is the YTCW method. I like to remember it with this acronym: you are the cool weeb, which is one of the many affirmations I tell myself in the mirror. Lay on your stomach on the ground and have your arms in the shape of a Y. Then squeeze your back so that your arms are raising over above your head. You should feel a really strong contraction in your upper back. After done with those, bring your hands into the shape of a T, and then do the exact same thing, squeezing your upper back. Once you're done with those, bring your arms into the shape of a C, and do the same thing, only this time you're pointing your thumbs upwards and squeezing your arms in that direction, while keeping an external rotation the entire time. And finally, the last letter, W. Bring your elbows to your waist and do the same thing that you were doing for C. Now you should be really feeling it in the lats. If you're instead doing a more push-centric workout, it's going to be a lot different from the you're the cool weeb method. And I bet you are the cool weeb. If you're strong enough for this first phase, what you're gonna wanna do is straddle your legs and balance yourself on one arm. Then press your shoulder into the ground and protract your scapula for a couple of pumps. Then once you finish both sides, do the same thing with both hands planted. After those, you're gonna get on your elbows and do the exact same thing, protracting your scapula as much as you can and hollowing your body. Whichever method you choose, you're gonna wanna remember 2 things. Number 1, be in control of the movement. These exercises are meant for us to be more mindful of our scapula. Number 2, feel each contraction and go slow. We want to also be getting a good mind-muscle connection to the muscles being worked as well. I personally like to do 10 to 15 reps of each of these, but find out what works for you. Maybe it's 20, maybe it's only 1. No judgment here. Because once you start learning to actually prime your scapula and actually use it in your exercises, you'll notice you'll feel a lot stronger, a much better mind-muscle connection, and of course your risk of injury is gonna go way down. But priming your scapula isn't the only habit that you're neglecting. There's another crucial element that might be missing from your pre-workout routine. And that could be the difference between the Toji physique you're dreaming of and you. And it's all about managing your mana. Kind of like Saiyans with their ki, Sung Jin Woo with his actual mana, or my favorite example, JJK and Cursed Energy. And it kind of works the exact same way. When a sorcerer uses Cursed Energy and Cursed Techniques, he is using up the energies stored in his body. And once that energy gets low enough, performance is hindered, he's not going to be able to fight, and he'll probably die. It's the same thing for us. Instead, we're not going to die, but you'll have much worse energy levels, brain fog, and you'll struggle to stay hydrated. So before you start your training, you need to take a proper pre-workout. But before you start hopping on that Sour Patch Ghost pre-workout and start developing a crippling caffeine addiction, only to become slowly resistant and never again feel the same high you did since the first time you took it, so you have to compensate by taking multiple scoops of pre-workout along with a Red Bull and a black coffee just to feel alive again, couldn't be me. You need to understand that caffeine is not the mana I'm talking about. Because before I do my workouts, I don't take any form of caffeine. I take salt. Let me explain. I'm sure you guys are all aware, you guys are a bunch of sweaty anime nerds, coming from a big sweaty anime nerd myself. But whether you're doing cardio or resistance training, your body is going to sweat. And when your body loses any fluid, it's going to also be losing electrolytes like magnesium, potassium, and especially sodium. If you ever notice that your energy is unsteady, you have brain fog, or you cramp during your workouts, it's not you, you're just not salty enough. Except you, League of Legends players, you are plenty salty. I hate you all. Now what I used to do is shovel spoonfuls of salt into my face, which you can imagine is pretty disgusting. But thankfully, the sponsor of today's video, Element, provide a much better way of getting your electrolytes with their variety of flavored drink mixes. Gone are the days of shoveling salt down my gullet, and gone are the days of chugging mainstream electrolyte beverages with questionable ingredients. Element has zero sugar, no weird junk, and a science-backed formula with a solid dose of sodium, potassium, and magnesium in either this drink mix form or one of their canned beverages. Also, the flavors are quite delicious. I am no Gordon Ramsay, but these, like a sweet, salty beverage on a hot summer's day. My personal favorites are the citrus salt because it tastes just like Sprite, and the chocolate salt, which is oddly pleasant. Right now you can get a free sample pack of Element's most popular drink mixes with any purchase if you use my link, drinkelement.com/KevinZhang. And if you don't like what you bought for whatever reason, they'll just give you your money back and you don't even have to return it. You could give it to somebody else. Give it to a salty friend, even that League of Legends player. Again, that's drinkelement.com/KevinZhang, or click the link in the description to get your free sample pack with any purchase. But if you want to train your body to get an anime physique, not only do you need to manage your energy, but you also need to mitigate your risk of injury, because no matter how hard you work, an injury could set you back weeks or even months. Speaking from experience. Now, it can be hard to follow along with all the different injury prevention techniques for every single exercise, which is why I'm going to teach you the most basic habit that you can do that applies to all exercises. I call it following the plane. Essentially, your body works best in certain planes of motion, kind of like how Zenitsu fights better when he's asleep. Not only are you stronger in these planes, but your risk of injury goes way down. For example, in a push-up, your shoulders are incredibly weak when horizontal, which is why good push-up form requires you to keep your elbows slightly tucked. Or even in a pull-up, you're much stronger when you have your elbows slightly in front of you rather than directly to the side. Or even in a squat, if your knees collapse inward and they don't follow the plane of your toes, you might literally die. Now, it may seem intimidating to think about the planes for every single exercise, but here's a simple 3-step process that will help you to figure out what each of them are. I call it stack, 45, and 90. That'd actually be a pretty cool band name. First step, stack. Stack your damn joints. It goes without saying, your bones are stronger than your joints, ligaments, and tendons. As long as you keep things stacked on top of each other and keep them well aligned, such as the knees following the toes, or having your elbows directly over your hands in a push-up, you're going to be mitigating risk and provide a much stronger base of support. Second step, 45-degree angle. If you don't know what angle your joints should be in when you do an exercise, 45 isn't a bad guess. This is what I like to do for pull-ups, push-ups, and squats. And so far, it has yet to fail me. I have yet to die from doing a squat in my bedroom. And lastly, 90-degree angle. This step is all about range of motion. In general, you want as much range of motion as possible, but if you have sensitive joints, you're just starting out, having your joints meet at the 90-degree point is a decent choice and works for most people. This applies to squats, dips, or any other exercise where you have to lower yourself down. Now, once you start getting more confident and you start training for a while, it might be a good idea to actually train outside of these planes. Your body is very strong and it's very adaptable. So being able to get stronger in certain disadvantageous positions can be very beneficial. Exercises like Bulgarian push-ups, pseudo planche push-ups, or even wide push-ups can help you get stronger and build a better physique just by exploring movements outside of these safety planes. But if you are just starting out and you are paranoid about injuries, following the plane using Stack 4590 is a great tool. But before we talk about the fourth habit, let me ask you something. Can you do this? Or this? Or even this? If not, then you're probably not doing your post-fight arc. I feel that this habit is one of the most important to do and is probably underdone by a lot of gym goers. Being able to release tension before, during, and after your workout can significantly improve your chances of getting an anime physique. Once you're able to train your muscles to stretch farther, or even increase mobility in places like your shoulders and hips, you'll be able to do things like the exercises I showed you and get more of those gains. Plus, you'll also be a more functional athlete. But besides being able to move better, you'll actually increase your gains, and this happens in 2 ways. Firstly, stretching out and releasing tension can improve your recovery. There have been days where I don't stretch after a workout, and suddenly the next day I feel super tight and sore, and then I struggle to train hard the next day. So stretching out and making sure your muscles aren't tight will help you continue training to your full capacity every single day. And if you're not sure how to stretch, I have a protocol in my Protagonist Method program, which will show you how to stretch every muscle in your body. You can check it out, link in the description. Secondly, stretching can improve muscle growth, but there's a specific way to do that. A lot of the science gym bros are becoming obsessed with stretching and working the eccentric of a movement and loading the muscle while lengthening it. But my question is, why? Well, I'll tell you why. Some studies seem to indicate that stretching your muscles under some heavy load have a better effect on hypertrophy than just contractions alone. If you didn't get any of that nerd speak, more muscle because stretch and you a lot of big rock on freaking what am I saying? It's like you put a lot of tension on a rubber band if you're stretching it out, and you have a rock in the middle of it pulling it down as well. So that's how I understand it. Yeah, I'm big brain. Personally, I just feel it works. I get much more pumped and I feel it a lot more when I work the muscles while stretched. Exercises like reverse Nordics or deficit push-ups. So stop with the constant contractions and start releasing tension. Learn to stretch out. Relax. Turn on the radio. Would you like or Does anybody get that reference? Or maybe I'm too old. But speaking of relaxing, this next habit could be the one that makes or breaks your anime physique. Because whether you like it or not, your story needs a filler arc. See, when I started university and began taking calisthenics more seriously, I started going to the university gym. Now, being one of the only calisthenics athletes there, I got to show off a lot, especially with cool moves like the muscle up and weighted pull-ups. And I spent so much time in the gym trying to do so many difficult exercises as frequently as I could. Because, you know, I like the attention. Day after day, week after week, non-stop hard stuff. Pause. And you know, I had a bit of an ego, so of course I had to make sure that the gym baddies were watching. Mind you, I was kind of a loser in freshman year, so I never had the confidence to actually approach them, but I'm sure they were watching. They probably weren't watching. But as I continued training and I kept on that relentless effort, the damage and fatigue started to weigh on me. I couldn't pull the same weight, couldn't do as many reps, and I even fell flat on the ground when attempting to do a muscle up. I'm pretty sure the gym baddies were watching that time. But then winter break hit and I was visiting my family. I thought, I'll probably just take like a week off, spend more time with my family and friends. Then when the break was over and I went back to the gym, I immediately noticed two things. One, most of the exercises felt a lot better and I had more energy. And two, I was a lot stronger and progressed in a lot of my training. All this to say, if you're constantly hitting the gym, going hard, and not taking a deload week, brother, take a deload week. Your body isn't a machine. It needs rest. Not just for your muscles, but for your tendons, joints, ligaments, and your central nervous system. So taking a deload week just to give your body a rest can not only reset your entire body back to normal, but also give a chance for your body to grow stronger. And if you're worried about losing gains in the span of a week, just don't. Your body needs at least like 2 to 3 weeks to lose any muscle anyway. Plus, you don't need to do nothing for a week. Best rule of thumb is doing half the volume of your original workout. But for me, I like to do things like mobility, yoga, or extra cardio just to work on other things that I want to work on. Well said, me. But the most important habits you can do to maximize your chances of looking like an anime character is by fixing up your stinking diet habits. So if you want to learn some sick diet hacks to make that as easy as possible, check out this video right here.